Greetings and welcome once more to Sonic Odyssey, the music video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Before we dive into today's music, we'll get the housekeeping out of the way real quick and easy. Please be sure to like the video if you so do. Click that thumbs up button and share the video through social media networks such as Facebook and Instagram using the share button located below the video. And also please subscribe to the video channel so you can stay up to date. And you can click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button, and that way each time I post a new video you'll get a little alert message to let you know that Sonic Odyssey has produced new material. Also, I would humbly ask you to please consider visiting my Patreon page. I have a Patreon account set up, and the link is in the show description below the video. You can go there and take a look, see if you'd like to become a patron, and if you do, that would be greatly appreciated. There's the housekeeping done. On to today's video. On today's episode, we're going to be listening to and looking at a band from Russia. This is their sophomore release, and the name of the band is BlackSword, and the album is entitled Alive Again. I feel a bit awkward simply saying that they're from Russia, since Russia is such a large country, but I haven't, in my searching and digging up information about the band, been able to come up with a city or region from which to label them other than simply from Russia. So that's where I'll have to leave that. All of the members of the band, except for the vocalist, come from Russia. The album we're looking at and listening to today is entitled Alive Again, and it is the sophomore release from BlackSword. It is the follow-up to 2010's debut album, The Sword Accursed. BlackSword had basically a small press of their debut album, but it did garner some accolades. Most critics considered the band and the album to be very heavy power metal oriented, in the vein of such bands as Attacker and Skullview. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get my hands on a copy of their debut album to see how the sound has evolved over the years. And there have been a number of lineup changes in the band over the past decade, but I feel that there is probably a great amount of development and evolution, progression, and growth within the composition and performance of the band based on what Ivan, the bass player, songwriter, and leader of the band, said to me in a letter that he wrote to me after I had sent him an inquiry letter about using their music in this video. Initially, the band, when it started out, even before their debut release, their music had been of a thrash/death metal style of music, so there's definitely been a change to the sonic styling of BlackSword for their sophomore release. But before we go on with more band information, let's give a little bit of a listen to Alive Again in the form of the album's second track. This is a sample from the opening of the song entitled Cave of the Witch. I chose this opening piece of the song as the snippet of sound that I wanted to sample for you, as it is a kind of classic opening in its style of build-up and groove and intensity to the power metal style. It has the majestic tenor to it. It's got the guitar work and the drum and bass work. It really has a strong and developing and growing feeling of energy and power and majesty to it. And by the time we get to the vocals kicking in, they come in strong and definitively stamping this power metal sound on the track as well as on the album as a whole. The vocalist, by the way, is a gentleman by the name of Mike Levas, but more on that later. His delivery, as I said, is a declarative statement on the whole album, which is often a mix of this style that you heard there, and also his going into a higher register, a kind of falsetto style of singing and screaming sounding. It sort of reminded me a little bit of Stu Block in Iced Earth. Stu Block has since quit Iced Earth and returned to his band Into Eternity, but probably most people will know Stu Block's vocal stylings from his time with Iced Earth. As to the lineup of BlackSword, we have the band leader, primary songwriter and bassist Ivan Viking, Denis Grubenkin on guitars, Artem Omelenchuk on guitars, and Stanislav Volkov on drums, as well as Mike Levas on vocals, whom I mentioned earlier. As I alluded to earlier, the four musicians evidently live in Russia, and Ivan found vocalist Levas through YouTube. Apparently he had discovered him while looking for a vocalist on YouTube, and Mike Levas has in the past worked with Timo Tolkai of former Stradivarius fame. So he is a known entity, a known quantity in the music community, and he really does have a great set of pipes. He does a marvelous vocal performance on the album. The album is full of hard-hitting, epic, heavy power metal songs from back to front. The album's first track, Iron Will, has a lyric video available on YouTube that you can check out, and the album itself was preceded by its first single entitled Immortal Hero, which is another song you can probably check out and give a good listen to. It's really a very powerful and strong example of epic power heavy metal. And the album's title track, Alive Again, is something we're going to sample a bit of now. Personally, I love this 8-minute epic, especially the way the song begins with the strumming chords of the bass guitar, and then the slowly building up in volume, increasing in sonic intensity of the drums and the guitar work entering over the bass work on the album. It really has a great sense of fleshing out this grand piece, which, as I said, is 8 minutes long. It's a pretty epic song. It fleshes out this soundscape with a great body of music, a full and textured richness that is a delight to the ears and a head-banging power metal anthem. It might have taken a while for BlackSword to come out with their second release, but the wait proves more than worth the while by simply listening to the album Alive Again. You can tell there's marvelous musicianship and craftsmanship throughout, from front to back. Lastly, the album closes with a 3-minute instrumental piece that is very cinematic in its sonic structure. Entitled The Crown of All, it seems as a perfect closer, brimming with atmosphere and a sense of conclusion to the album. It's a very tonally different song from the rest of the album, but it really does have that marvelous method of just bringing about the end of the album, closing out the experience of listening to Alive Again. And from me, Alive Again easily gets 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is an outstanding production with fantastic musicianship and compositions. The performances by the musicians, especially the bass work, I happen to find it refreshing compared to some other power metal music that I listen to, where the bass is a little bit more monochromatic in its tone and stylings. This is much richer throughout the entire album. There's layering and texturing of the rolling style of bass playing that Ivan employs, and it really does come across quite marvelously in the mix. There have been many comparisons by critics to the band Jag Panzer, but I think that BlackSword really outshines Jag Panzer in every regard. This is an album for 2021 that is definitely a contender for the epic power metal album of the year genre. It really is an album deserving of recognition and award. So with that being said, again, I would ask you to check out Alive Again by BlackSword 2021. And I thank you for your time and attention. Please do remember to like, share, and subscribe, and please consider visiting my Patreon page and becoming a patron of the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Have a great day. Stay safe. Peace. Bye-bye.